Hello, it's Heavy Things Lightly, formerly known as Why Are We Talking About Rabbits? And this is John Heers. If you've ever wanted to volunteer at First Things Foundation, that's cool. We've got some great volunteers doing some great things. Our work is in the living. So when you go and become a field worker, that's when you really volunteer. You go and live 2 years somewhere. We're looking for folks right now for East and West Africa. I would love for you, look, I'm pointing. I'm like Uncle Sam. I'd love for you to join. And this is First Things. And this is Greg Gilbertson bringing us in on a very special podcast about a Nigerian guy that wrote us a very scientific paper. See you guys, by the way, down in Florida, November 7th. We got a full house for Jonathan Peugeot, Jordan Hall, and myself. Hope everybody's good with these hurricanes. The restaurant is back open. This is our podcast. Greg Gilbertson bringing us in. So this isn't going to be long. It's going to be long enough for you to think. Because I got one of these beautiful listeners out there sent me a link to a paper published by a PhD in Nigeria. A guy named Chibi. That's all we're going to call him Chibi. It's Chibiehu. He published a paper that touts his previous paper where he was proving that late night television viewing hurts your eyes. And he also proved apparently that pi wasn't actually pi. Yeah, he's a mover and a shaker in the scientific community in Nigeria. And then he just wrote a paper apparently that's pissing everybody off. It's not that he wrote it a while ago, but it seems to have resurfaced. And it's proving that gay marriage is a bad idea. Yep. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So, Chibi's recent publication, it shows that a lot of stuff happened. And as he says, quote, I realized that France in the 14th century, in that world, that they have legalized gay marriage. 14th country to legalize gay marriage. And I asked myself why a man should be marrying a man. And so I'm writing this paper as a scientific demonstration of why you should or should not get married. And he goes step by step using the big five in science, like math and biology, physics, and to prove that gay marriage isn't a thing. It's tough. Yeah, it's a tough paper to read as a New World person myself. Because this is how it reads. He starts with physics and he goes, as a physicist, apparently he's a physicist. And I actually think he has his PhD. I don't know what university in Nigeria. He says, quote, a physicist when studying will learn there is an example that when you use your biro, B-I-R-O, I don't know what that is, but if you use your biro and rub it on your hair after rubbing, try to bring small pieces of paper and you will see they attract because one is charged while the other is not charged. But if both of them are charged, the biro and the paper, they don't attract, which means that a man cannot attract another man because they are the same. Ta-da! He adds in the same paragraph that a woman cannot attract a woman because they are the same. And then he concludes by saying, this is my favorite part of his paper, the way he writes, that is how I used physics to prove gay marriage wrong. I love this. This is really just it's the explication of the old word voice. But he's not done, is he? He's not even close. Then he puts on his biologist hat. This is like pissing people off, apparently. And he uses his biologist hat and he writes this. In biology, I use simple experiments and I came down to learn as a layman. We have seen that the female of a fowl is called a hen and the male of a fowl is called a cock. We have never seen where a cock is having sex with a cock. And we have never seen where a hen is having sex with a hen. I don't know. I'm just telling you, Was that no, that was a biologist. Yeah, because duh. Hens and, stuff. And then he just adds this before he ends. The sperm in the man alone doesn't produce a child. And an ovary in a female, I know you know what's coming, does not produce a child. They need each other. And so he says, that shows how biology proves that gay marriage is wrong. Oh, now if you're like me, I'm a new world person. The paper seems a little light. Seems a little light. I don't know, a little light in the loafers. But he's not done. He then enters the realm of chemistry. He says, as a chemist, I studied sulfuric acid and I saw how it reacts with sodium hydroxide. You're going to have, at that point, salt and water. And that tells you, or just says the truth, that acid is of a different body. The base is a different body, and therefore, those two things, sulfuric acid and hydroxide, will react. And then he says, and if you bring sodium hydroxide and pour it on top of sodium hydroxide, you find out that there will be a reaction showing that a man on top of a man will have no reaction. That's a direct quote, ladies and gentlemen. If you pour salt on top of salt, you will see that a man on top of a man will have no reaction. I mean, duh. All right, he does math. If you were thinking that's it, this dude is not done. I think I like the math. I like math the least in life, but I love when Chibi does math. I mean, who doesn't want to do a little math when trying to figure out about gay marriage? So here's what Chibi does. He says, quote, if I say 2 plus 3, it will give 5. If I start from 3 and I say 3 plus 2, it will give 5. That's the law of commutativeness. Whoa. And so that shows that A plus B will give you B plus A. And so that shows you that gay marriage is wrong because you can't use the law of commutativity when a man lays with a man. Man plus man won't work. Doesn't add up. A and B just suddenly can't become B and plus C. Okay, so I don't know what you're thinking right now. I'm thinking this is incredible. I'm thinking this is a scientific deep dive. This is just actually what I'm thinking is this is the best paper ever. Everybody on the internet, though, doesn't think so. They're killing this guy, especially the Huffington Post. And I think this is kind of old, but somehow it resurfaced in my world. And I can't stop laughing because let's just be honest, this is the best science paper ever. This is like a PhD. Who doesn't want this guy to be your teacher? It's like candies from heaven, man. You see stuff, you say stuff. You get like a PhD. You see stuff, you say stuff. It's just like you make crazy conclusions, and it's amazing. Things just watch. I'm going to try it. Things that grow bear fruit, seeds. And so then fruit is good because growing things are good. Wait, actually, wait a minute. I think that worked. Did I just do some Nigerian old world science? Wait a minute. Things that grow bear fruit, seeds. And so fruit is good because things that are alive are good. I think that's true. Wait a minute. I was just sort of kidding. But I think that's true. Wait a minute. It's things that grow bear seeds, and seeds are good because they bear life, and life is good because, wait a minute, it's obvious. Duh. This is amazing. I love this paper. But now, as you can imagine, it's not exactly what a lot of people think. I don't think a lot of people are trying to look up Chibi's paper to find out about gay marriage. I did. I did it for you. It's free. Though you do have to, at some point, realize that you're going to feel guilty if you don't go and donate at some point and yet consume these podcasts. Right now, you're like, I'll never feel guilty. I know some of you are impervious to guilt, but here's one person that's not, apparently, impervious to the art of making people feel guilty. So here's some New World light people arguing for gay marriage. And I thought we'd just throw them up there because I think it'll help me conclude some things in the end. So here's the first one. This is Hank Green, John Green's brother. John Green's a novelist. They also started a very good website where they do a lot of interesting videos that tons of high school teachers use. This is Hank telling us about bad arguments and stuff when it comes to gay people. You ready? Here it is. I'll comment while we go. It's not long.
What's the big deal? Why can't gay people just, have a party and say they're committed to each other? Why do they gotta...
So why can't gay people just be committed without marriage? He's going to argue against this. Let's hear how he argues.
Some people get married and other people can't, then that's wrong. 2, but God, marriage can be a religious thing. It can also be a secular thing. And guess what? Not everyone in the world is of the same religion. Preventing gay people from getting married is not an expression of religious freedom. It's an expression of religious oppression. Because in the religion of the gay people getting married, presumably their God thinks it's okay. And you are oppressing them.
All right. It's kind of complicated. It's not as easy as like salt and salt. But not everybody's religious. So religious people shouldn't expect other people to do what they do, something like that. Here's one more.
But the Bible is not a legal document. Our country was founded upon the idea of a separation between church and state. The Bible is also very explicit about the rules of farmers selling their daughters.
Oh, okay. So the Bible's not a legal document, so therefore it can't be in laws and stuff. I don't know. I'm just showing you some arguments. Here's another one. This one's from Jennifer Heath. She, as you can see, if you're not watching, you'll hear a very well-schooled Oxford graduate arguing at a very, very important meeting in London. Here's Jennifer giving you an argument.
The church stands at a crossroads, and the choice before them is stark. Today, the church has the option to choose love, to choose faith, and to choose hope, to choose to follow the precedent set by Jesus of loving and treating your neighbor as you would like to be treated. Or the church can choose to continue down a path of oppression based on outdated cultural norms that reject the fundamental message of Christianity, love. Love is what will redeem us. Love is the reason Jesus died for us. Love is the very foundation of the church.
Oh, okay. Jennifer there is making an argument about rejecting outdated ideas. There's an outdated theme going on. And also, gay marriage is okay because of love. Seems very excited. It's very, I'm emotional about that. Oh, look. Here's a person that's going to argue on behalf of sort of LGBTQ rights, which I'm assuming includes marriage, in the political sphere. You might like this one.
As your president, I will do everything
I will do
to protect our LGBTQ citizens from the violence and oppression of a hateful foreign ideology. Believe me.
Ooh. Donald Trump, guys, in 2016. Unless you're like 8 years old, you can actually remember that speech where he's defending the rights of people to get married who are of the same sex, which I find fascinating, and that's really interesting. And if you're a political person, you probably didn't see that one coming. Foreign ideologies, really interesting. We'll have to talk about that, won't we? I think Chibi's paper is the foreign ideology, by the way. I think Donald Trump just gave a speech to Chibi, like, keep your foreign ideology out of the United States of America. I think that just happened. Your evil foreign ideology about salts, laying on top of salts. Keep it out of here, bro. But there's another person running for president. Let's hear what she has to say.
Have rights equal to others is ridiculous. That election for Attorney General fell on a couple of issues in particular, but one is that my opponent said he would defend Prop 8, which would have banned same-sex marriage, and I said I would not defend it.
Frankly, Rachel, as the daughter of parents who were active in the civil rights movement, I refuse to stand in the doorway of the wedding chapel blocking same-sex couples' ability to marry.
Right.
I fought to defend people's right to marry the person they love.
There it is. Love. Look, man, there's a lot of arguments going on here. Love, rights, avoiding foreign evils, right? There's a lot going on. And I think I think Kamala is helping. I think Donald's helping me. They're helping me understand something, and here's how they're helping me. Science is about material reality. It is something like a way to find out about how material stuff works. It does this thing, right? It uses matter to understand matter and then reports back on its findings. I like science. I mean, when it's science, I like science. Notice that it just sort of reports back, gives you the facts as they understand it, and then like they check out. Like a good scientist, what I'm trying to say is like a good scientist who actually does what they say, be a scientist, they just simply lay out the stuff, then they go home, cook dinner for their kids or whatever. Did the research, here's some numbers, here's my methodology, and now I got to go to Chuck E. Cheese. See you tomorrow. Like, hey, enjoy my science, guys. And if you notice, and it shouldn't be hard at all to notice, all the videos of pro-marriage people that I've shown you, and pretty much all of them, and you can go test for yourself, okay? They all have this very non-scientific thing going on. It's a very insidious thing, if you step back a bit. All the pro-gay marriage, now, I'm not talking about why people are gay, why can a man love a man. I'm not talking about whether people feel love. I'm not talking about whether people should hold hands. I don't really care about any of that at all. You do it, express marriage any way you want. I mean, express, now I sound like that. Express love, I don't know. I can't, it's complicated for me to tell you how to love, but I will say this, okay? All these people are working like wild animals to make me and you and everyone else they can lay some sound on. They're working hard to make us feel bad about some shit. And here's the crap they're trying to make me feel bad about, okay? They're trying to make me feel bad about reading Chibi's paper and going, yeah, that kind of makes sense. They hate Chibi. And they hate you if you're like, salt and salt. I don't know. They hate Chibi's paper because the smart people, they also often happen to be light people who often happen to be white people. You know what? They really hate Chibi because he's stupid and annoying. And he doesn't prove anything. And he just keeps pointing out dumb stuff and then making moronic conclusions about gay marriage. He's an idiot. What are you, Chibi, from the 12th century, man? Snap out of it. What are you, some kind of hater? I bet you like segregation, Chibi. He's a very bad man and he's very bad at science, except it's weird. Because the science is actually the science of observation and the exact science that has led billions and billions, like 30 billion people for thousands of years to define marriage. A marriage is possible because you have a phallus, then you got a womb. Now, are there going to be some weird little side conversations, exceptions? Of course. But that's pretty clear. And if you notice, I'm not saying anything about, like, you have to have children. Like some of these characters on the interwebs will say, Matt Walsh says it all the time. It's not about children. Could be. It's not about sperms or eggs, if you got some or you don't have some. It's about image and icon. A marriage is possible when the people getting married have a percent of a. I'm sorry, you can turn that off now, but it's a thing your kids might want to also understand. The image and icon, man, phallus. The image and icon, woman, dome, I don't know, womb, negative charge, positive charge, cock and a fowl, an A and a B. They're just obvious. I know. His paper is ridiculous, except for one thing. It's beautifully simple, and it's observationally duh. And you know what's not simple? This is not simple. You watching this one with me? This is Instagram telling us about gay marriage in 2024.
Why are we still letting religion dictate who can marry whom in 2024? When it comes to marriage, especially same-sex marriage, the idea that religious beliefs should have any say in who deserves love and legal rights is outdated. Let's be real. Marriage is a legal contract, not a religious ceremony.
Oh.
Why should someone's ancient beliefs decide if two people can commit to each other?
Yeah.
If
Why?
your religion opposes same-sex marriage, fine. Keep it in your church.
Keep it in your church.
But in the
You're
public
man.
sphere, where laws protect everyone, religion has no business controlling who gets to marry.
Yeah.
It's time we separate religion from law and stop letting outdated views ruin people's lives. Why should someone else's beliefs interfere with who I love or marry? Let the debates begin. I'm ready to hear why some think their religion should have control over everyone else's happiness.
Okay, Jimmy's paper. Jimmy's paper may have a child's simplicity, sort of an embarrassing innocence to it, but that's confusing, man. About 65,000 questions come up. Here's one. Which religions exactly are outdated is like the LGBTQ. I mean, if you walk down Fifth Avenue in New York City, there's like 8 churches with flying gay flags. I guess those religions are updated, not outdated. So they don't mean religion. They mean some religions. I don't know. Here's another question that comes up. They kept saying couple. I'm not sure why they would say couple. Why can't they say 3 or 4 people? I mean, 3 or 4 people can love each other, right? It's sort of a thing in history. I don't know. Polyamorous? Polygamy? Guys, I don't want to be a jerk, but that's complicated video. And when it starts to get really complicated, I start to get a little suspicious. Here's one. Can the 2 people who love each other also be 30-year-old man and a 12-year-old boy? How about that? No, but really. You don't mean why can't 2 people get married? You mean why can't the right 2 people get married? Oh, you're such a bigot. Must be because of youngness, which is something like, I don't know, dumbness? Oh, immature. So an immature person can't get married. I've never met an 18-year-old immature person. Have you ever met one of those? 30-year-old immature people, they don't exist. But they seem to be able to get married. I don't know. This feels cruel. This feels really mean on young people. It seems bad, unfair, unequal. Hey, here's a question that came up during that really cool video that made everything clear and simple. Can religious people make laws, or do they just have to go pound sand? Because I mean, sort of love being in the public. Like, I enjoy a park or a library, and I'm religious, so how long can I hang around and say religious stuff before I gotta leave the public square? How long do I get? Is there a timer? And then the timer goes off, all the religious people, please return to the private space where you may talk about religious things. You're talking about a video that confuses me. When do I have to go back to private places to share my religious views? It's weird. Also, the ending's real clear, right? Is religious people stop ruining everyone's. My wife and I were just coming home from church yesterday. It was really fun. We were in the car plotting of how to make you unhappy. It was great. Church gave us all these great ideas of how to make you unhappy. It was awesome. We came up with like 6 ways to make non-religious people super unhappy. And we're getting started on our plan. We're a little busy this week, because of praying and stuff. But we're going to try to make you super unhappy by the end of the week. Yeah, it's part of our religion. I mean, if only I didn't have a religion, then I could make everyone so much happier. So I just want to present an idea, and then my little extravaganza is over for today. Okay? This is my idea. Science is really good when it's good at showing us material reality. Like, here's this and here's that. You draw your own conclusions. Scientism is when that doesn't happen. It's when scientists use special knowledge to manipulate people into thinking they're dumb, into thinking they're backwards, to thinking they need an intervention from the wizards who do real science. Chibi may not be your idea of a great scientist. He is, though, in the most spectacular fashion, an old world thinker, looking for truths in the most observable of places, the world he lives in, the place where he lives. He's simple. And so is the definition of marriage. It's just the union of phallus and womb. I didn't say a word today about whether or not someone should be happy or unhappy. I'm just trying to tell you. Love? Is that what marriage is? I don't know, whatever. Maybe you got some of that in your marriage. Maybe you don't. But never until the very, very unscientific rise of an arrogant people that called themselves Enlightened, never did you ever see so much bad science exist when it comes to marriage. The modern world brought us a lot of stuff, including really bad science and the ability to gaslight the hell out of common people. Like Africans. I didn't even get into the racism involved in this. Common people who haven't gone lately to the church of scientism. So, Chibi, bro, keep up the simple work. Though you should probably consider a writing class or two. I highly recommend. We'll have the link. Go read Chibi's paper. I love Chibi. I don't know. Spelling class, maybe, Chibi? But boy, what a day. And by the way, for people out there who are listening who might be gay, attracted to people who have their same sexual orientation, I just want you to know there's nothing about your desire for another human being that isn't understandable and isn't, how should I say? I don't have empathy for such a desire. That's not at all what's going on here. It's just that tall people have to bend when they go into little people's houses. They just don't get to make the little people build a big house. I don't know what to tell you. Bye, everybody. It's the end. I hope you'll tune in next week. And definitely don't forget Gratitude Travel, Amy and Jamie. If you want to go travel to Georgia and Mozambique and South Africa and Europe and places where we go and sometimes don't go, like in Europe, we don't really work there. But if you want to travel and then go see one of our sites, you just write Gratitude Travel. You'll find the link. And then Amy and Jamie hook you up and donate to us, First Things Foundation. And if you go to Georgia or you go to South Africa on a safari, they'll also let you check in with Mozambique as a part of your trip to see and meet our field workers. That's a cooler trip, by the way, because you see the real deal. This is me signing off. Who loves you? Peace out.